Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about feathered selections in a new project. Let's go ahead and start a new project. In our new project, we're going to make a file that is 1,000 pixels by 1,500 pixels. Let's get started. Remember that you can always title your project, your exercise. We're going to make our width 1,000 pixels and our height 1,500 pixels. Remember, we're working in an exercise, so it's only 72 dpi. We're not printing this out. Key thing that we want to always keep, I've always found it useful to have rulers active when I'm working in Photopea or Photoshop. It just helps ground me, and I can really figure out a way if I need to line things up. Later on, we will use rulers. So I want you to know where rulers are, and you can always turn them on or off depending on what you want. You can always change the units too. Right now, mine is set to pixels. We can change it to inches just by right-clicking on that ruler. Notice that when I zoom in, I have access to can even finer tune my design or composition just by zooming in, and my rulers change. And I can always turn that off under the View menu. Today we're going to be talking about selections. If I take my selection tool, we really haven't played around, but I want you to notice that there is a feather adjustment here. And notice that its unit is in pixels, px. We're going to change that to 0 because I want to do a comparison really quickly and show you what we've been doing with the previous exercises and then what we will do when we change that feathering amount. I'm going to go ahead and make some new layers here. I've made 5 layers, and on my first layer I'm going to make a circle layer and fill that with a color. And that color I'm going to do Option Delete to fill that in, or Alt Backspace on a PC. And I'm just going to fill that in on layer 1. Layer 1 is active, and there I go. Now I'm going to deselect my selection. I can go up to my Select menu, or I can hit Command D. I'm going to go up and get rid of that. And I want to look at that edge. I'm zooming in. You can use Command or Control Plus to do this. You can use your scroll wheel to zoom in, or you can use the zoom tool. Look at that edge. Zoomed in, it kind of looks jaggedy, but as we zoom out, that is really nice and crisp and clean. So I just wanted to call that to your attention because now we're going to make a new selection. But before I do, I want to show you that space bar is our hand tool. Our hand tool can help us move our canvas around the workspace. And it's exactly like moving a piece of paper around on the desk. Let's go ahead and make that selection. I can make that new selection, and I'm going to actually pick a color. But what I forgot to do is change my feathering amount. I want to change my feathering amount first. I always want to do that first, but like anybody, I always forget. And I'm going to change my feathering amount to 20 pixels. Let's make a new selection. And I want to do this to help compare. When I fill this new color into that yellow-green circle. I'm on a new layer. I'm on layer 2. And there is my fill. Let's see and try to compare what happens. Look at the color mixing we're getting for free here. All right, I've made this orange blurred feathered circle, and we have it transitioning from white, the background white, and we also have it transitioning from that yellow green, so from opaque to transparent. We see that feathering really take hold in that circle we just did. Let's try another one, but this time I'm going to adjust the feathering to a different amount. And basically what we're seeing is that the 20 pixels that we made that were feathered really show up in a 20 pixel distance of this kind of gradient transition. Let's change this amount and see what happens with another color.
How your little man doing in New Jersey? Last I heard he caught the flu and you was worried. Hope he feels better. And thanks Jonetta from Cleveland for that good head in your Jetta. Better believe it. Shanice, you my piece from Compton. Before I'm off the plane, make sure you cop some trees.
One issue that you may come across is that if you increase your feathering amount to a larger amount, let's say 100 pixels, and then you make a new selection, make sure that your selection isn't so small that when you make it, it disappears. I'll try it again. Look how that disappears. And what's happening is that Photopea doesn't have enough selection area to complete that selection, given the fact that you are making a lot of those pixels transparent. So if you adjust your feathering amount, just be aware of how much you're actually feathering, because your selection may disappear. There I've made a larger selection, and I'm going to fill this with a different color. And let's see what happens with this larger amount that's feathered. I'm going to do Alt backspace or Option delete. And look how much that transition has changed. I mean, you can really see the distance and that gradient of pixels from opaque to transparent. That is a large distance. I'm going to reposition these 3 layers here. I want that blue, blurry, really blurry circle to go in the background. And so I'm going to pull that layer down to be the last layer. And then I'm going to pull that orange layer in between, so we get a real nice transition of something that we perceive as close to us. So this yellow-green circle is the closest thing to us. It's in focus. It has a nice crisp edge. And then we have our second orange circle, which is kind of blurred out. And then, of course, we have our really blown out blue circle in the background to let us know, or to tell us that it's really far away from us. Anyway, guys, practice a couple of those, practice filling using feathering, and we will see you next time. Take care.